This video presentation is about the economy and travel in Mexico in 2023, and my name is Joni Og. We have had a decades-long relationship with Mexico, and we know it quite well. We have owned condos in Punta Mita for over 25 years, including a condo rental business. However, our lives have changed dramatically, as for medical reasons, Tom had to stop surfing about 3 years ago. And since he started surfing in 1958 and never stopped, this has been a major life event for us. When Tom stopped surfing, we decided to simply keep our home in Punta Mita and spend time there when it made sense for us. However, in late 2021 and 2022, the real estate market seemed to explode in Mexico. So we decided that we would cash in on the overwhelming demand and sell the condo. We closed on the condo in June of 2022 and did real well with it. We were glad that we had made the decision to sell, as we wanted to start traveling again, and having a second home kind of stands in the way of that. As it turns out, we are ecstatic that we sold with the economic events that have taken place since. While at the time we sold, no one saw what was happening to the dollar to peso conversion ratio, which was occurring, I well remember the exchange rate back in the 1980s when the peso went from 23 to 1 in 1980 to 1993 when the peso exceeded 3,000 to 1, before the Mexican government simply eliminated three figures from the peso. Wild fluctuations have occurred over the years, but the dollar was always the beneficiary. Now here's what's happening currently. On July 20th, 2020, one US dollar was worth $20.56 pesos. Exactly 1 year later, on July 20th, 23, one US dollar was worth 16.71 pesos. Now this is a loss of value for the US dollar of 19%. Worse, on April 25th, 2020, one US dollar was worth 24.98 pesos. From the start of the COVID pandemic until today, the dollar has lost 33% of its value against the peso. Now, there are several things that have contributed to the loss of value, and while no one is certain of what has happened, here are some more obvious things to consider. There are important things to explore, as the future of the dollar in relationship with the peso is going to hinge on these issues. Inflation is no secret, and the U.S. has been battling high inflation numbers since 2020. When the U.S. inflation rate exceeds the inflation rate in Mexico, the currency will lose value against Mexico's peso. Interest rates. Now, Mexico's central bank has just raised their prime rate to 11.25%, which bolsters support for the peso, and will have a dramatic effect in lowering Mexico's inflation rate. The U.S. Central Bank prime rate is 5.25%, which is having an effect on inflation, but certainly not as dramatic as Mexico's. Capital investment. Both the United States and China are investing heavily in the Mexican economy by building manufacturing plants, infrastructure, and other capital-intensive investments. Now, this has created a burgeoning economy for Mexico's middle class and elevated incomes and lifestyles. There are many other factors that go into the value of a nation's currency, such as geopolitical impact, the trade balance, and overall economic performance. No one knows if the slide of the dollar will continue, but there are issues that you should explain to your clients. Right from the moment you start discussing Mexico as an option for your client's vacation, you should explain that the currency exchange fluctuation is something that they should be aware of. Here are some topics that you should discuss with your clients. Where should they buy pesos? Now, clients should purchase their pesos from their local bank or credit union in advance of their departure to Mexico. This is where they're going to get the best exchange rate. The ATMs in Mexico offered competitive rates at one time, but now offer rates on par with the currency exchange businesses. Often, the street value of a dollar is 10 to 20% lower than the actual exchange rate, making the dollar worth that much less. Clients should never use U.S. currency to pay for meals or services, as the provider will certainly not give a fair exchange rate. Many times they will exchange the dollar on a 10 to 1 basis, making the meal or the service very expensive. Use credit cards whenever possible. Have your clients check with his or her bank and credit card company to see what extra charges, if any, they may have for processing international transactions. Also, have them suggest the best ways to obtain pesos while out of the country. Many of the tourist-oriented restaurants and attractions will take credit cards. Avoid airport and hotel currency exchanges. Airport and hotel currency exchange services often charge high fees and offer less favorable rates. It's really better to exchange money at local banks at home or authorized currency exchange offices for more competitive rates. Meals are going to be more expensive than ever. And on my last trip to Mexico in June of 2023, I was shocked at how much prices in restaurants had gone up. The confluence of inflation in Mexico and the dollar's loss of value compared to the peso had a dramatic impact on the cost of dining in restaurants. I would estimate that it was 40 to 60% more expensive dining in restaurants that I had dined previously in 2022. So while the exchange rate is not what it was, Mexico is still one of the premier vacation destinations in the world. Mexico's culture, their history, culinary delights, and fabulous beaches are still, as they were, undeniably spectacular. Thank you for watching this short video. We hope that you've enjoyed it. Why not give it a like or a share? And if you would like to know when we release future tutorials, just subscribe to our channel.